Just tell them you gave it to me. Claire's fingers were wrapped around my wrist under the conference table. Her nails dug into my skin. Across from us, 3 members of the scholarship committee were staring at 2 printed essays laid side by side. Mine and hers. The first paragraphs were almost identical. So were the second and the third. Even the sentence about my mother sewing my torn winter coat at 2 in the morning was there. Word for word. Claire leaned closer. Her face had gone completely white. Nora! Her voice was barely a whisper. Please. I looked at her. My best friend of 11 years. The girl who had slept on my bedroom floor when we were 12 because she was scared of thunder. The girl whose mother called me her second daughter. The girl who knew exactly how badly I needed the Avery Foundation scholarship. And the girl who was currently holding a copy of my life in her hands. Nora, she whispered again. Just say you gave it to me. The scholarship coordinator, Mrs. Bell, looked up. Nora. I turned toward her. She had my essay open in front of her. The title read, The Things We Repair. Claire's submission had a different title. What We Carry Forward, everything underneath it was mine. Mrs. Bell adjusted her glasses. I'm going to ask you again. Did you provide Claire Dawson with your scholarship essay? Claire squeezed my wrist harder. 1 sentence. That was all she needed. Yes. Yes. She had permission. Yes. This was all a misunderstanding. In my previous life, I had said exactly that, and it destroyed me. So this time, I gently pulled my arm away. No, Claire stopped breathing. I looked directly at Mrs. Bell. I did not give Claire my essay. Silence. The room changed. Not dramatically. No one shouted. No alarm went off. But Claire's face collapsed. Nora! I didn't look at her. Mrs. Bell picked up Claire's copy. Did you authorize her to use any part of this essay? No. Claire pushed her chair back. Nora, what are you doing? One of the committee members, Dr. Patel, raised a hand. Claire, please. No. Because she knows. Claire turned to me. You know we work on everything together. We don't work on this together. We brainstormed. We didn't. Her eyes widened. We literally talk about everything. That isn't the same thing. Claire laughed once. Too loudly. Too quickly. She's angry at me. Mrs. Bell frowned. Why would she be angry? Claire opened her mouth. Nothing came out. That was the first mistake. In my first life, she had never needed an explanation. Because I had rescued her. Before anyone could ask. This time, she was going to have to speak for herself. Mrs. Bell looked back at me. Nora, when did you write your essay? The first full draft was 6 weeks ago. And this version? Finished 3 days. Before the submission deadline. Who had access? My English teacher saw an early draft. My mother read the final. No one else. Claire stared at me. That last sentence landed exactly where I wanted it to. Not because I was trying to trap her. I wasn't. I simply refused to lie. Mrs. Bell turned toward Claire. When did you write yours? Claire swallowed. About a month ago. Do you have drafts? Yes. Good. We'll need them. Claire blinked. My laptop is at home. That's fine. You can submit the version history this afternoon. Claire's lips parted, then closed. Beside her, Vanessa Cole shifted in her chair. I almost smiled. Vanessa wasn't technically part of this meeting. She was here because she served on the Student Scholarship Advisory Panel, Student Council President, Debate Captain, 3-time Regional Academic Award winner. Beautiful in a way that looked effortless, even though nothing about Vanessa was ever effortless. In my first life, she had been the person who told Claire exactly what to do. Not because she wanted Claire to win, because she wanted me to lose. She sat at the end of the table now, perfectly composed, except for the way her thumb kept tapping against the edge of her notebook. Claire looked at her. Just once. That was enough. Dr. Patel noticed. So, he said, for now, both applications will be placed under review. Claire snapped her head around. Both? Yes. But I didn't do anything. No one answered immediately. Mrs. Bell folded her hands. That is what we're trying to establish. Claire turned toward me. Nora! Her voice cracked. You can fix this. I stared at her. There it was. Not that I can explain. Not that I made a mistake. Not that I'm sorry. You can fix this. Same girl. Same instinct. Same trap. My chest tightened. For 1 second. I was 17 again in my previous life. Same conference room. Same essays. Same question. And a different answer. Yes. I had said then. here. Claire had started crying. She hugged me in the hallway. Afterward. Thank you. I knew you wouldn't let them ruin my future. I thought I had saved her. Instead, the committee ruled that we had improperly collaborated on individual scholarship submissions. Both essays were disqualified. My application lost its strongest component. Claire cried for 2 days. I comforted her. Then Vanessa gave her an idea. If Claire said I had pressured her to use my essay, she might save herself. So Claire changed her story. I had sent it. I had insisted. I had told her it was okay. She had been confused, scared, too trusting. Suddenly, she wasn't the girl who copied me. She was the girl I had supposedly dragged into an academic violation. Vanessa backed her. Other students did too. Why would Claire steal from her best friend? Nora literally admitted she gave it to her. Maybe Nora wanted them both to submit similar essays, so Claire would get disqualified. The scholarship committee never formally accused me of sabotage. They didn't need to. My recommendation weakened. My full-ride application died quietly. Claire later won a smaller regional scholarship. Vanessa got the Avery Award. My mother took out another loan to help me cover tuition. I took 2 night jobs during my first year of college, and one rainy November evening. After closing the campus cafe at 1:17 a.m., I fell asleep for half a second behind the wheel. That was all it took. Headlights. Metal. Then darkness. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in my bedroom. 6 weeks. Before the scholarship deadline. I had spent the first 2 days believing I was losing my mind. By the third, I stopped caring what the explanation was. I was alive. My mother was downstairs. The Avery Scholarship had not been awarded. Claire had not stolen my essay yet, and Vanessa had not won. I could have exposed them immediately. I could have accused Claire of something she had not done in this life. I could have searched her phone, set traps, recorded conversations. I did none of that. I changed one thing. I stopped treating Claire's problems like they belonged to me. She noticed within 3 days. Nora, can you proofread this? No, she laughed. What? Ask Mr. Hayes. You always proofread my stuff. Not scholarship applications. Since? When? Since now. Another day. Can I see how you structured your essay? No. Why are you being weird? It's an individual submission. She stared at me. You don't trust me? I remember thinking how easy it would have been to say .no. I don't. Instead, I said, I want you to write yours. She rolled her eyes. Vanessa noticed too. Of course she did. One afternoon, she found me at the library. Claire says you're being secretive. I'm writing. She thinks you're mad. She'll survive. Vanessa smiled. You two used to share everything. Not everything. That's kind of sad. Maybe. She watched me for a second, then said something almost identical to what she had said in my previous life. Claire really depends on you. I looked at her. That sounds like Claire's problem. Her smile slipped. Only slightly. That evening, Claire came to my house with takeout, like nothing was wrong. We sat on my bedroom floor. She complained about applications, deadlines, teacher recommendations. Then she said, I have no idea what to write for Avery. You'll figure it out. That's your advice. Yes. You're terrible. I know. She threw a napkin at me, then looked at my desk. My essay was printed beside my laptop. I reached over and flipped it face down. Claire laughed. Seriously? Yes. You think I'm going to steal it? I looked at her. For half a second, neither of us smiled. Then I said, I think you should write your own. She stared. Something cold moved behind her eyes, then disappeared. 2 weeks later, she had my essay anyway. I didn't know how. Not yet. But now she was sitting beside me in the scholarship conference room with my story under her name. And for the first time, I wasn't covering for her. Mrs. Bell stood. We're going to pause here. Claire. Nora. Please send your draft history by 4. We'll reconvene tomorrow. Claire shot to her feet. Nora. I collected my folder. She followed me into the hallway. Nora! I kept walking. She grabbed my arm. What is wrong with you? I stopped. Around us, students moved between classes. What's wrong with me? You could have fixed that in 2 seconds. I would have had to lie. You wouldn't be lying. Yes, I would. We share things. Not that. Claire stared. Her eyes filled. Real tears now. Or maybe, they always were real. That had been part of my mistake in my first life. I thought tears proved innocence. They didn't. You're going to ruin my scholarship. No, I looked at her. You submitted my essay. She flinched. That's what's going to ruin your scholarship. Her face hardened. So you admit you don't care. I care. Then help me. No, she laughed through tears. There. What? That. That's what Vanessa said. My pulse slowed. What did Vanessa say? Claire froze. Too late. Then she looked away. Nothing. I smiled faintly. Okay. I walked away. Behind me, Claire shouted, Nora! I didn't turn around. For the first time in 11 years, my best friend had a problem, and I was letting it stay hers. 6 weeks earlier, when I woke from death, the first person I looked for was my mother. I found her in the kitchen at 6:14 in the morning, standing barefoot in an old college sweatshirt and arguing with the coffee machine. You hate me, she told it. I ran into her so hard she nearly spilled the grounds. Nora! I wrapped my arms around her. She laughed, then stopped. What happened? Nothing. That's not a nothing hug. I buried my face against her shoulder. In my first life, Mom had aged 10 years and 12 months. Not because I lost a scholarship, because I let losing it become the center of our lives. We appealed, borrowed, fought, worked. I blamed Claire, then blamed myself. Mom took extra tailoring jobs late into the night. I picked up shifts. We kept saying, just until next semester. Just until we catch up. Just until things get easier. Things never got easier. Then I died. Before 20. Now she smelled like coffee. And lavender detergent. Alive. Warm. Annoyed. Perfect. Nightmare, she asked. Yes. Bad. The worst. She rubbed my back. Want to stay home today? No, I pulled away. I have things to do. Mom smiled. That sounded ominous. It wasn't. That was the strange thing. In stories, getting another life sounded like revenge should begin immediately. Lists, plans, schemes, evidence walls. But I didn't wake up wanting revenge. I woke up tired. Tired of Claire. Tired of Vanessa. Tired of trying to make people admit what they had done. I wanted my scholarship, my mother, my future. That was enough. The Avery Foundation scholarship was worth 4 years of full tuition, housing, and a stipend. One student from our district received it each year. There were 3 major stages: written application, personal essay, final interview. My grades were strong. My recommendations were strong. The essay mattered because the finalists were all strong. In my first life, that essay had been mine. This time, I treated it like something mine. That should have been obvious. It wasn't. Claire and I had shared almost everything since middle school. Study guides, class notes, passwords to streaming accounts, clothes, food, college spreadsheets. We even kept a shared cloud folder called Nora plus Claire survived senior year at 17. I had thought that was friendship. Now it looked like a filing cabinet with no lock. On the 3rd day, after I came back, I removed all my personal application files from the shared folder. Not secretly. I simply moved them. Claire noticed that. Afternoon. Where's your college tracker? My drive. Why? Because it's mine. She stared at me. Okay. Then laughed. Did I do something? No. You're acting weird. I know. She leaned against my locker. You've barely texted me. I am studying. We always study together. I focus better alone. Claire made a face. That is so rude. Probably. She waited for me to laugh. I did. That calmed her. For a while. The first week passed quietly. I rewrote the essay. Not the content. The center of it was still my mother's alteration shop. The same tiny storefront she had taken over. After Dad died. The same room. where I had grown up doing homework under racks of prom dresses. The same memory of her repairing my winter coat at 2 in the morning. Because I had refused to let her buy a new one. My essay wasn't about poverty. I hated essays that turned people into tragedies. It was about repair. How Mom never hid damage. She turned seams inside out. Found where the tension started. Strengthened what had torn. Then made the garment usable again. My last line was, repair is not pretending nothing broke. It is deciding what is still worth carrying forward. I liked it. So did Mr. Hayes, my English teacher. He circled the last paragraph. This is you. What does that mean? You finally stopped trying to sound impressive. Wow. He laughed. That was a compliment. Terrible delivery. Get used to academia. I kept the printed draft in my school portfolio. The digital version stayed on my laptop. Claire asked about it constantly. Not obviously at first. What's your essay about? My mom. Again. What do you mean again? All your good essays are about her. She's interesting. My mother sells dental software. Write about dental software. Claire threw a grape at me. Then, can I read yours? No, she blinked. No. No, you're kidding. I want to keep it private until. After submission. Claire stared at me. That's never bothered you. Before. I know. Why now? Because it's a scholarship. So we're competing. The word sat between us. Competing. Claire hated it. Not because it was cruel. Because it made visible something she preferred hidden. We had the same classes. Same clubs. Same scholarships. Same university list. But in Claire's version of our friendship, competition was something we pretended did not exist. Then if I did better, she could say, of course you did. You're Nora. Like my work was weather. Natural. Unfair. Impossible to influence. She smiled thinly. Wow. What? Nothing. You sound like Vanessa. That caught my attention. How? She keeps talking about how everyone is getting selfish with applications. Does she? Claire nodded. She says senior year shows who people really are. I closed my laptop. Vanessa says a lot of things. She's actually been really nice. I'm glad. Claire studied me. You still don't like her? I don't think about her much. That annoyed Claire more than if I had insulted Vanessa. 2 days later, Vanessa joined us at lunch. She sat across from me. Nora. Vanessa. I heard your Avery essay is amazing. I looked at Claire. She suddenly became fascinated by her fries. I heard that too. I said. Vanessa smiled. Mr. Hayes said you've got a real shot. Maybe. Claire's stressing. Claire rolled her eyes. Thanks. Vanessa laughed. I'm serious. You two have always helped each other. Right. I took a sip of water. Sometimes. Nora's basically your secret weapon. Claire laughed. That's true. I looked at her. She didn't notice. Vanessa continued. If I had someone who wrote like Nora, I'd make her read everything. Unfortunately, I said, I'm busy writing like Nora. Vanessa smiled, but her eyes cooled. That sounded possessive. Of my own time. Fair. She changed the subject. But, after lunch, Claire caught up with me. You embarrass me. How? You made it sound like I use you. Do you? Her face changed. Seriously? I asked. You know I don't. Then there's nothing to be embarrassed about. She stared at me. You've become impossible. I am practicing. That night, Mom found me at the kitchen table. You and Claire fighting. No, you do that too much. What? That sound. It means I raised you. I smiled. Mom sat down. Can I say something you won't like? Probably. You do too much for her. My fork stopped. I looked up. Mom shrugged. Not. Because Claire is evil. She's not. I almost laughed at the irony. But she knows you'll do things. Homework reminders. Proofreading. Driving her places. Talking her down. When she panics, she asks you. Before she asks herself. That sentence stayed with me. She asks you. Before she asks herself. In my first life, I had thought Claire's dependence proved closeness. Now I wondered if it had simply trained both of us badly. What should I do? Mom looked surprised. You're asking me? Yes. Tell her no sometimes. That's it. That's most adult problems. That sounds fake. It's irritatingly real. So I did. Claire forgot a recommendation deadline. Can you email Mr. Hayes for me? No, why? Because it's your recommendation. He likes you. He knows you. Nora. Email him. She did. She survived. Claire forgot to print her transcript. Can you stop at the library? No. I'm already going to be late. So go earlier. She stared at me, then printed it herself at school. Survived again. Every time I refused, nothing terrible happened. That was almost funny. In my first life, Claire had trained me to believe that if I didn't step in, something would collapse. Most of the time, she simply solved it. Then came the essay. 3 days before submission, Claire showed up at my house. No warning. She carried pizza, an iced coffee, peace offering. For what? You being possessed. Comein. We ate upstairs. Mom was working late. Claire complained about Avery. I hate my essay. Then rewrite it. I don't know what to say. Say something true. That's easy for you. No, it isn't. Claire lay on my rug. Vanessa says hers is incredible. I'm sure Vanessa says that. She said the committee loves leadership stories. Then write one if you have one. I don't have your life. I looked at her. What does that mean? You have your mom, the shop, your dad, all that. Claire waved vaguely. Stuff. I stared. My father's death. My mother's work. Our bills. The shop. Stuff. She saw my expression. That sounded bad. Yes. I just mean you have a story. You do too. Mine is boring. Then find what matters. She groaned. You sound like Mr. Hayes. Poor you. At 8:15, I went downstairs to get plates. When I came back, Claire was standing beside my desk. She turned too quickly. What? Nothing. Her phone was in her hand. My printed essay lay exactly where I had left it, face down. I looked at it, then at her. Claire smiled. Your charger cable is weird. Okay. I didn't accuse her. At the time, I had no proof she had touched anything. Maybe she hadn't. I simply put the essay into my folder and zipped the bag. Claire watched. You seriously don't trust me? I met her eyes. I seriously don't want anyone reading it. Before submission. She smiled. Cold this time. Fine. She left 20 minutes later. At 11:47, she texted. Sorry I was weird. Love you. I stared at the screen. Then replied, night. 3 days later. Submissions closed. 2 weeks. After that, Mrs. Bell called both of us into the scholarship conference room and placed 2 copies of my life on the table. The morning, after the first meeting, Lakeview High had already decided what happened. Not the school. The students. That was faster. By first period, people knew that Claire and I had submitted the same scholarship essay. By second period, I had apparently given Claire my draft and then denied it. By lunch, some version of the story included Vanessa trying to mediate between us like a saint. I sat down beside June Park in the cafeteria. She stared at me. What? Nothing. June. I'm deciding whether to ask. Ask. Did Claire really submit your essay? Yes. June's eyes widened. All of it. Most of it. Jesus. Across the table, Noah Grant stopped eating. I heard it was just the opening. It wasn't. He whistled. June leaned forward. Did you send it to her? No. Does she have access to your drive? Not anymore. Not anymore. I removed my application files 6 weeks ago. June frowned. So how did she get it? I don't know. That was true. June watched me. You're weirdly calm. I'm tired. You and Claire have been best friends since 7th grade. I know. Are you okay? I thought about another life. A closed scholarship portal. My mother signing loan forms. Rain on a windshield. Yes. June looked unconvinced. Then Claire walked into the cafeteria. The room did not go silent. Real life was rarely that cinematic. But conversations dipped. Faces turned. Claire noticed. Her eyes immediately filled. Then Vanessa entered behind her. Of course. Claire sat at a table near the windows. Vanessa put an arm around her. 3 girls joined them. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Claire, can we please talk? Before the meeting, I ignored it. Another that I'm not asking you to lie. I stared. That was exactly what she was asking. Then that I'm asking you not to destroy me. I locked my phone, June said. Claire looks like she's about to cry. She's good at that. June glanced at me. That was cold. Yes. I didn't apologize. The second meeting took place at 3:30. This time, Claire's mother came. Mrs. Dawson looked terrified. Not angry. Terrified. Nora! She hugged me. Before I could react. Oh, honey. My body went rigid. I had known her for years. She had made me pancakes. After sleepovers. Driven me home from soccer. Bought me birthday gifts. I gently stepped back. She lowered her voice. Please help us clear this up. There it was again. Us. Clear this up. Like there was some fog between us instead of Claire's name on my essay. Mrs. Bell invited us inside. Claire sat between her mother. And Vanessa, my mother, sat beside me. I hadn't wanted her there. She insisted. You don't face adults alone. When other people brought adults. That was her logic. I accepted it. Mrs. Bell opened the meeting. Thank you for providing documentation. She looked at me first. Nora submitted 6 drafts. Each has timestamps. And tracked revision history. Her English teacher also confirmed reviewing 2 earlier versions. Claire looked down. Mrs. Bell continued. Claire submitted 1 draft. Mrs. Dawson leaned forward. She writes directly into her final file. Mrs. Bell nodded. That is possible. However, Claire's file was created 43 hours before the deadline. Claire swallowed. I rewrote it. From what? My notes. Do you have those? I deleted them. Mrs. Bell looked at her. All of them. My phone's storage was full. Mom's hand shifted beside mine. I could feel the skepticism without looking. Dr. Patel spoke. Claire, your essay describes an incident at an alteration shop. Claire nodded. Yes. You wrote about repairing a navy winter coat. Yes. I looked at her. So did Mom. Claire continued. It's a metaphor. Dr. Patel looked at my application. The same coat appears in Nora's essay. Claire said nothing. The shop in Nora's essay belongs to her mother. Claire's face flushed. Mrs. Dawson turned toward her daughter. Claire! Claire looked at me. I used the example. My mother finally spoke. Used? Whose example? Claire swallowed. Nora told me the story. Mom looked at me. I shook my head. Claire's voice rose. She has told me. We've been friends forever. I've been in the shop. I know the coat story. That doesn't mean you wrote it. I know. Claire's eyes filled again. I made a mistake. Mrs. Bell leaned forward. What mistake? I liked the way she framed it, so I used the structure. Then I changed parts. Dr. Patel slid the 2 essays closer. Claire, 82% of the text is substantially identical. The room became quiet. 82. Even I had not known the number. Claire looked at Vanessa. Vanessa spoke for the first time. Can I ask a question? Mrs. Bell nodded. Claire and Nora have collaborated on writing for years. Does the committee have a policy about close friends sharing drafts? Yes. Draft sharing is allowed. Submitting another applicant's work is not. Vanessa nodded. Of course. I'm just saying this may be less malicious than it appears. Malicious. Interesting word. Claire grabbed onto it immediately. Yes. I wasn't trying to steal. Mrs. Bell asked. Then what were you trying to do? Claire started crying. I was panicking. My essay was terrible. The deadline was coming. Nora always helps me. I looked at her. There it was. Again. Nora always helps me. As if that explained possession. Mrs. Dawson wiped her daughter's tears. This was pressure. She made a terrible decision. But there was no intent to hurt Nora. My mother's expression changed. Submitting her daughter's work under her own name doesn't hurt her? Mrs. Dawson looked at Mom. I didn't mean, Claire interrupted. I thought Nora would understand. I laughed. Quietly. Everyone looked at me. Claire stared. What? You thought I'd understand? Yes. Understand what? That I was desperate. You could have asked me. You would have said no. Yes. Claire's face twisted. Exactly. For 1 second, no one spoke. Then Mom said, That's not the defense you think it is. Claire looked away. Mrs. Bell held up a hand. We're not here to determine the friendship. We're here to determine authorship and scholarship eligibility. Claire wiped her face, then said, I have proof Nora sent it. I turned toward her. Vanessa went still. Mrs. Bell frowned. What proof? Claire took out her phone. A screenshot. She slid it across the table. It showed a message thread. My name at the top. A file attachment beneath it. Avery_final.docs, then a message supposedly from me. Use whatever helps. We're getting through this together. My mother inhaled. I stared at the screenshot. It looked real. Very real. Claire's shoulders relaxed. For the first time since the meeting began. She looked almost confident. Vanessa did too. Interesting. Mrs. Bell turned toward me. Nora! I didn't send that. Claire laughed in disbelief. Nora! I didn't. It's your number. Yes. It's your profile photo. Yes. You sent it. No. Claire's eyes filled with fury. This is insane. Mrs. Dawson looked at me. Nora! Honey! Maybe you forgot. I turned to her. I did not forget sending away the essay that could decide a full scholarship. She went quiet. Dr. Patel examined the screenshot. When was this? Claire answered. 11:42 p.m. the night before the deadline. I looked at her. That timing mattered, because at 11:42 that night, I had been at my mother's shop. The main water line in the back room had burst. Mom had called me at 9:10. I stayed until nearly 1 in the morning helping move garment bags and mop water. My phone had died around 10. I remembered, because Mom kept complaining that I never charged it, but that alone didn't prove anything. Claire could say I sent the message earlier, or from another device. I didn't need to solve it now, so I simply said I didn't send it. Mrs. Bell nodded slowly. We'll preserve the screenshot and review it. Vanessa asked, does that mean both applications stay paused? For now. Claire exhaled. A temporary win. I could see it. She thought she had created enough doubt. She didn't need to prove innocence. Only ambiguity. If the committee could not tell whether I shared the essay voluntarily, they might avoid disqualifying her for theft. Maybe they would call it collaboration again. Maybe both of us would suffer. That had worked once. Claire glanced at me, then looked away. When the meeting ended, she walked into the hallway beside Vanessa. I stayed behind to gather my papers. Mom whispered, Did you send it? I looked at her. She immediately shook her head. Sorry. That was stupid. No, it wasn't. She squeezed my hand. I believe you. That mattered more than I expected. Outside, Claire was waiting. Vanessa stood beside her. Claire crossed her arms. Can we talk now? No, her eyes widened. Nora, you submitted your documentation. I submitted mine. The committee can decide. Claire stared. You're just going to let this happen? Yes. What if we both lose the scholarship? I looked at her. Then we both lose the scholarship. Her face changed. She had expected that threat to move me. It didn't. But I'm not going to lie to stop it. Vanessa stepped forward. That's easy to say, when your application is stronger. I turned toward her. What does that mean? She smiled faintly. It means Claire has more to lose. I almost laughed. That's an interesting reason for me to take the loss instead. Vanessa's smile vanished. Claire said, Nora, please, one sentence. Just say you sent it. You don't even have to say I copied it. I didn't send it. Her voice cracked. You care more about being right than about me. No, I looked at her. I care more about telling the truth than taking responsibility for what you did. Then I left. That night, Lakeview's senior group chat received a post. Not from Claire. From Vanessa. A long paragraph about compassion, pressure, friendship, how academic competition can make good people forget years of loyalty. She never named me. She didn't need to. Comments appeared immediately. This is so sad. People make mistakes. Imagine ending a friendship over an essay. Then June posted, imagine stealing your friend's essay. The chat exploded. I put my phone on silent. Went downstairs. Mom was eating cereal from the box. Want some? Yes. We sat at the kitchen counter. At 10:18, Claire called. I ignored it. 10:21 again. 10:26, a voicemail. I didn't listen. At 10:42, another message appeared. Claire, did if I lose everything? Because you couldn't protect me once. I hope you remember that. I stared at the screen. Protect me. Once. Like 11 years of friendship had been a subscription she had paid into. Like the benefit was access to my reputation. Whenever hers failed, I deleted nothing, responded to nothing, then went to bed. Claire thought the screenshot had saved her. Vanessa thought public sympathy would pressure me. For the next 4 days, both of them acted like the worst was over. They were wrong, and the reason had nothing to do with me. By Monday, Claire was popular again. Not exactly innocent, but sympathetic. That was enough. She cried in the bathroom, cried in English, cried outside the counseling office. She told people she had used too much of a shared draft. Not stolen, used. A shared draft. Language mattered. Vanessa made sure everyone heard the softened version. At lunch, 2 girls I barely knew came over. Can we ask you something? June groaned. Here we go. I looked up. What? One of them, Marissa, shifted awkwardly. Did you really share essays with Claire all the time? No, not all the time. We read each other's work. Before. So maybe she thought. No, Marissa stopped. I continued. I did not give her this essay. That's all that matters. The other girl frowned. Claire says you sent a file. Claire says a lot. June kicked me under the table. I looked at her. She mouthed mean. I shrugged. The girls left. Noah sat down with his tray. You know what your problem is? I have several. You're terrible at looking victimized. I'll work on it. No, seriously. Claire cries. Vanessa looks noble. You look like you're waiting for the bus. Maybe I am. He laughed, then lowered his voice. People don't know what to do with someone who won't perform. That stayed with me. In my first life, I had performed constantly, explaining, defending, crying, proving. I had thought if I could make everyone feel my pain, they would believe me. Now I simply told the truth once. If people wanted drama, after that, they could create it without me. The scholarship committee did not call for 3 days. Claire interpreted silence as safety. By Wednesday, she was joking again. Thursday, she posted a selfie with Vanessa captioned that we survive hard weeks. June sent it to me. I replied, why are you sending me this? Because I'm petty. Fair. Friday morning, Mrs. Bell called me to her office. Alone. Moments like that still made my stomach drop. I sat. Mrs. Bell closed the door. We reviewed the screenshot. I waited. It cannot be authenticated. What does that mean? It means the image itself does not establish that the message originated from your device. I nodded. Okay. We also requested the original message thread from Claire. She says it was deleted. Of course. Mrs. Bell continued. However, we are not an investigative body. We are not going to turn the scholarship process into a forensic dispute between 2 students. My chest tightened. That sounded familiar. In my first life, adults had said versions of that sentence too. We have therefore decided to reinstate both applications provisionally. I stared. Both. Mrs. Bell watched me. You disagree? Yes. I understand. But the committee's immediate task is selecting finalists. Your interview will proceed. So will Claire's. I looked at my hands. For one ugly second, anger rose. She stole my essay. Leet. Produced a suspicious screenshot. And still got an interview. Mrs. Bell must have seen it. Nora. I looked up. Being allowed to interview is not the same as the issue being resolved. We will consider the total application record. I nodded. What do you need from me? Nothing at the moment. That answer surprised me. Nothing. Beautiful word. I stood. As I reached the door, Mrs. Bell said, one more thing. I turned. Your essay remains yours in our internal review. We have enough draft history to establish that. My shoulders loosened. What happens to Claire? That depends on what the final panel concludes. I nodded. Thank you. When I left, Claire was standing 10 feet away. She had clearly been waiting. Well, I kept walking. Nora. She followed. What did she say? Ask her. Claire grabbed my sleeve. You're still doing this? I looked down at her hand. She released me. What? This silent thing. You think it makes you look superior. No, I just don't want to talk to you. Her face flushed. Well, I'm interviewing. I heard. So are you. Yes. She waited. I waited. Then. So maybe everyone can calm down. Okay. Nora! What? Can we just move past it until interviews are over? I almost laughed. Move past what? She stared. You know. No, say it. Claire's jaw tightened. The essay thing. The essay thing? Stop. I looked at her. You submitted my essay under your name. That's not an essay thing. She whispered. I already said I'm sorry. No, you said you panicked. That isn't the same. Her eyes filled. What do you want from me? Nothing. She looked genuinely confused. That was the problem. People like Claire understood punishment, forgiveness, arguments, tears. They understood transactions. You hurt me. You apologize. I decide. What she didn't understand was removal. I didn't want anything. I wanted out. Claire crossed her arms. Fine. Then she smiled. Small. Hard. But if we both make the finalist round, you can't act like I didn't earn it. I stared. There it was. The confidence returning. The temporary win she needed. Good luck. I walked away. That afternoon, Vanessa posted, congratulations to all Lakeview Avery semi-finalists. Proud of everyone for staying focused despite distractions. Distractions. June nearly choked laughing. Does she write like a politician on purpose? Yes. How do you know? Look at her. Claire's name appeared on the semi-finalist list. So did mine. Vanessa's. 3 Lakeview students. 1 scholarship. That made things worse. Or better. Depending on who you asked. Vanessa started framing the situation differently. Not as Claire's mistake. As my strategy. Nora knows Claire's application is weaker. She wants her out. Before interviews. It's competitive. Think about it. I heard versions of that everywhere. The story shifted. If Claire had plagiarized, maybe I was still exploiting it. Maybe I wanted the committee to eliminate competition. Maybe telling the truth itself was aggressive. That part fascinated me. Someone else lies. You refuse to protect the lie, and somehow your refusal becomes the cruel act. 1 afternoon, Vanessa cornered me at my locker. You're letting this get ugly. I'm not doing anything. That's exactly what you keep saying. Because it's true. She lowered her voice. Claire's falling apart. Then help her. I am. Great. Vanessa stared. You really don't care. I closed my locker. You keep saying that like it changes the facts. You were her best friend. Were. The word landed. Vanessa blinked. You're ending 11 years over one bad decision? No, I'm ending 11 years. Because the bad decision showed me what the 11 years meant to her. Vanessa laughed softly. That is so dramatic. Then why are you here? Her smile vanished. I walked away. That night, Claire posted something she should not have posted. A screenshot of her semi-finalist email. Caption, truth wins eventually. Maybe she meant that the committee hadn't eliminated her. Maybe she thought the screenshot message had created enough doubt. Maybe Vanessa told her confidence was useful. Whatever the reason, it changed public opinion again. Not toward me. Away from her. Noah commented, what truth? Claire deleted his comment. June posted, probably the truth. Where 2 people wrote the exact same code story. Deleted. Another student. Congrats. But maybe don't subtweet plagiarism allegations. Deleted. Claire locked the comments. Then texted me, are you sending people after me? I replied for the first time in almost a week. No. She answered instantly. Then tell June to stop. No. Why? Because June is not my employee. You know what I mean. I do. Tell Vanessa to stop talking about me too. A long pause. Then that's different. I smiled. There it was. Everything was different. When Claire needed it to be. I put the phone down. The next morning, Vanessa made the mistake that changed everything. She was trying to save herself. She posted a statement in the senior scholarship group. Not publicly, only to students involved in application mentoring. She wrote, for clarity, I never told Claire to copy Nora's essay. Claire told me she had found an old draft through the study materials. They used to share. I told her she should not submit anything without Nora's permission. Please stop including my name in this. It sounded responsible, careful, protective, except for one sentence. Claire told me She had found an old draft through the study materials. They used to share. June sent me a screenshot within 2 minutes. I read it twice, then a third time. Claire had spent the last week saying I sent her the final essay at 11:42 the night before submission. Vanessa had just said Claire found an old draft herself. Those stories could not both be true. I did nothing. I didn't forward it to Mrs. Bell. I didn't send it to the group. I didn't confront anyone. I went to calculus. By lunch, 30 people had seen it. By 2 o'clock, Claire had seen it. And by 2:07, Claire was standing in the hallway screaming at Vanessa. You said what? Students turned. Vanessa went pale. I clarified my role. You called me a liar. No, you literally said I found the essay. You told me you did. I told you. Claire stopped. Too late. People were listening. Vanessa lowered her voice. Not here. No, you don't get to do this. Claire's face was red. You told me it would be fine. Vanessa's expression changed. Claire, you said she always saves me. Silence. Vanessa grabbed Claire's arm. Stop talking. Claire ripped away. And, just like that, the story no longer depended on me. They had begun explaining each other. By the end of the day, Vanessa had deleted her statement. Too late. Students had screenshots. Of course. They did. Claire spent the evening calling her. Vanessa stopped answering. Then Claire did something even worse. She started sending screenshots too. Not to me. To June. At 9:13, June called. Are you sitting? Yes. Good. What? I think Claire is trying to destroy Vanessa. I closed my textbook. Why? She sent me 11 screenshots. I went still. What screenshots? Messages. Between her and Vanessa. I said nothing. June continued. She says she wants people to know Vanessa manipulated her. Did Vanessa? Oh, absolutely. That almost made me laugh. June sent the first image. Vanessa, did Nora finish her Avery essay? Claire, yeah, she won't show me. Vanessa, weird. You two share everything. Claire, not anymore apparently. Vanessa, she knows your competition now. Claire, thanks, that helps. Another, Claire, her essay is probably insane. Mr. Hayes loves it. Vanessa, then learn from it. Claire, she won't send it. Vanessa, you still go to her house. Claire, Vanessa, I didn't say steal it. Claire, you basically did. Vanessa. I said learn from it. Then 3 days later, Claire. I saw it. Vanessa and Claire. It's really good. Vanessa. Of course. Claire. I hate her. Vanessa. No, you don't. You hate losing to her. Different thing. My stomach tightened. Next screenshot. Claire. I took pictures. Vanessa, that was stupid. Claire, you told me to look. Vanessa, looking is not photographing. Claire, what am I supposed to do now? Vanessa, write your own essay. That mattered. Vanessa was manipulative, but she had not yet told Claire to copy. Then Claire, mine is garbage. Vanessa, then fix it. Claire. I could use the structure. Vanessa. Don't be obvious. There. June sent another. Claire. I used more than the structure. Vanessa, how much? Claire. A lot. Vanessa, Claire, what? Vanessa. If they notice. Nora needs to say she shared it. Claire, she won't. Vanessa, she will. She always rescues you. Claire, not lately. Vanessa, push harder. Claire, what if she says no? Vanessa, cry, my hand went cold. Not because I hadn't seen something similar before. Because I had. Different life. Different trap. Same word. Cry. I continued. Claire, that's awful. Vanessa. You're already submitting her work. We're past moral panic. Claire, and if she covers me? Vanessa, then it becomes collaboration. Claire, she gets in trouble too. Vanessa, exactly, then she can't act superior. There it was. Not just Claire's theft. Vanessa's goal. If Claire got caught, she expected me to save her. And saving her would damage my application too. Win either way. If Claire's copy passed unnoticed, Claire competed with my own essay. If it was caught, and I covered, both of us looked dishonest. Vanessa benefited either way. The same architecture as my first life. My breathing slowed. June was still talking. Nora! I'm here. Are you okay? Yes. That's a lie. Yes. Do you want me to send these to Mrs. Bell? I looked at the screenshots. No, June paused. No. They're Claire's messages. She can send them. But what if she doesn't? Then she doesn't. June groaned. You are infuriating. I know. Why won't you do anything? I stared at my desk. Because in my first life I did nothing but do things. I chased, proved, argued, compiled. Convincing people became my second full-time job. Not this time. They know where the scholarship office is. I said, that is psychopathically calm. Good night, June. Wait, I hung up. At 9:42, Claire texted me. You saw them. I replied. June called. A pause. Then, now do you believe me? I stared. Believe what? That Vanessa did this. I almost laughed. She had sent screenshots admitting she photographed my essay, copied it, submitted it, and her question was whether I now believe someone else was responsible. I typed, you took the pictures. 3 dots. She told me to look. You took the pictures. She told me to use it. You submitted it. Nora, you submitted it. A long pause. Then that I was scared. I didn't answer. Another that I thought if we both got questioned you would say we worked together. Another, you always protected me. Before. There. I wrote, that was the problem. She called immediately. I answered, maybe. Because I wanted to hear her say it. Maybe. Because 11 years deserved one real conversation. Claire was crying. Nora. What? I know how it looks. It looks exactly like what happened. Vanessa got in my head. Maybe. She kept comparing us. Okay. She kept saying you thought you were better than me. Did you believe her? Silence. Claire. Yes. I closed my eyes. At least that's honest. She sobbed. I was so tired of being second. To me. To everyone. But especially you. There it was. I love you. She said it like a defense. I believed her. That was the hardest part. People could love you and still resent you. People could love you and still decide your success was something they were entitled to redistribute. I love you, she repeated. I know. Then why won't you help me? I opened my eyes. Because you keep asking me to prove I love you by taking responsibility for what you did. Claire went quiet. I continued. You took pictures of my essay. You copied it. You submitted it. You made a fake screenshot. She gasped. I didn't make it. I paused. What? Vanessa did. My pulse changed. She made the screenshot? Yes. After the first meeting. She said we needed something that showed you sent it. I sat very still. Claire. What? You submitted fabricated evidence to the scholarship committee. She said it was. Just to show what basically happened. No, I know that now. No. Claire. You knew it then. She started crying harder. I was panicking. You keep using that word like it erases decisions. Silence. Then, what do you want me to do? Tell the truth. To who? Everyone you lied to. She inhaled sharply. If I do that, I'm done. Maybe. You'd let that happen. There it was. Even now. I looked at the dark window. My reflection stared back. Yes. Claire's breathing stopped. Then she whispered, You really hate me. No, I wish I did. I ended the call. 20 minutes later, Claire forwarded the screenshots to Mrs. Bell. Not because I forced her, because Vanessa had tried to save herself first. By midnight, Vanessa knew. At 12:16, she texted me for the first time directly. Vanessa, you think you won? I stared, then turned my phone off. The next morning, Lakeview felt like a courtroom designed by teenagers. Everyone had a theory. Claire was manipulated. Vanessa was evil. Claire was still guilty. Nora had known everything. Nora had set them up. Vanessa was protecting herself. Claire was exposing her. The scholarship committee sent a short notice. The finalist review timeline has been extended. Interviews remain scheduled pending further evaluation. Vanessa arrived at school 30 minutes late. No makeup. Hair pulled back. She looked less polished. More human. Claire didn't come. At lunch, Vanessa sat across from me without asking. June immediately stood. I'm going to leave. Before I commit a felony. Vanessa ignored her. I kept eating. You could have stopped this. I looked up. How? by telling Claire not to send those screenshots. I stared. That's your argument? She's unstable. She's scared. So, you knew what she'd do. No, Vanessa leaned closer. You've been acting like you knew everything for weeks. That was dangerous. I kept my face neutral. You're paranoid. She laughed. Maybe. Then, you think you're innocent. Because you never touched anything. You just stood there and let everyone destroy each other. I looked at her. Yes. Vanessa blinked. I continued. Claire copied my essay. You helped her cover it. You made fake evidence. You both lied. What exactly was I supposed to stop? Her jaw tightened. You could have forgiven her. I smiled faintly. You really thought that would fix your screenshots. She stood. This isn't over. No, it probably isn't. She walked away. June returned. You scare me. Why? You said that like someone's aunt at a funeral. I laughed for the first time all day. That afternoon, Mrs. Bell called all three of us in. No parents yet. Just us. Claire looked destroyed. Vanessa looked furious. I looked tired. Mrs. Bell placed the screenshots on the table. Then the fake message image. Then our essays. She looked at Claire. Did you photograph Nora's essay without her permission? Claire whispered, yes. Did you use those photographs to write your submission? Yes. How much? Claire started crying. Most of it. Mrs. Bell looked at Vanessa. Did you advise Claire that Nora would likely claim the two students had collaborated if questioned? Vanessa stared at Claire. Then, I said Nora might help her. That is not what I asked. Vanessa swallowed. Yes. Mrs. Bell picked up the fake screenshot. Who created this? Silence. Claire looked at Vanessa. Vanessa looked at Claire. Dr. Patel, beside Mrs. Bell, said, this is not a group project. Someone answer. Claire spoke first. Vanessa. Vanessa laughed in disbelief. You asked me to. You said it would make the story believable. You asked me to help you. You told me we needed proof. They turned on each other so quickly it would have been funny if it wasn't so ugly. Mrs. Bell raised her voice. Enough. Silence. She looked at me. Nora. I straightened. Did you know any of this? Before your essay was flagged? No, that answer was not entirely true in the cosmic sense. But in this life, I knew what had happened. Before. Because I had lived it. I had not known exactly how. They would repeat it. I had not seen the screenshots. Had not photographed them. Had not baited them. I had simply protected my files. And refused to lie. Mrs. Bell nodded. Did you ever authorize Claire to use your essay? No. Did you send her the final document? No. Did you participate in creating the screenshot? No. She closed the folder. Thank you. Then she looked at Claire. And Vanessa, the committee will notify you. After review. Claire panicked. What does that mean? It means the meeting is over. Mrs. Bell, Claire. Go to class. No dramatic verdict. Not yet. That was good. It gave Claire and Vanessa one more chance to make things worse. They took it. The final interviews were supposed to take place the following Monday. By Friday evening, none of us knew whether they still would. Then 3 emails arrived. Mine first. Your Avery Foundation finalist interview will proceed as scheduled. I read it twice. Mom screamed louder than I did. Then Claire got hers. Your application has been removed from consideration due to material misrepresentation and submission of work not authored by the applicant. Vanessa's followed. Her scholarship application was not automatically disqualified for plagiarism because she had not submitted my essay. But Lakeview withdrew her school endorsement for the Avery Award after determining she had assisted another applicant in falsifying evidence during the review process. That effectively ended her candidacy. 1 email, 3 different futures. Claire called me 7 times. I didn't answer. Vanessa did not contact me. At 8:40, Claire's mother showed up at our house. Mom answered. I heard voices downstairs. Then Nora. Mrs. Dawson sounded broken. I went down. She stood in our living room with red eyes. I'm sorry to come without calling. Mom remained beside the kitchen doorway. Protective. Mrs. Dawson looked at me. Claire lost the scholarship. I know. She may lose another school nomination too. I said nothing. She made a terrible mistake. Yes. She's 18. Yes. Mrs. Dawson swallowed. I'm not asking you to lie. That sentence immediately made me tense. I'm asking whether you would be willing to write a statement saying you don't believe she intended to harm you. I stared. Mom closed her eyes. Mrs. Dawson rushed on. It could help with the school conduct review. It wouldn't restore Avery. It would just show that this wasn't malicious. I looked at her. Do you believe that? She blinked. What? That Claire didn't intend to harm me. Mrs. Dawson's mouth opened. No answer. I continued. She knew the scholarship mattered to me. She knew we were competing. She knew she was submitting my work. She knew if we got caught, I could lose eligibility too. She helped make fake evidence, saying I gave it to her. Mrs. Dawson started crying. I know. Then what exactly would I be writing? She wiped her face. I'm just trying to protect my daughter. I know. That softened me, because Mom would protect me too. Maybe differently, but fiercely. I looked at Mrs. Dawson. You should. She looked hopeful. But I'm not going to do it for you. Hope disappeared. Nora, I'm sorry. You're asking me to tell adults that I know what was in Claire's mind. I don't. Mrs. Dawson looked down. Mom finally spoke. Laura. Mrs. Dawson looked at her. Mom said quietly, you can love your child without asking another child to carry the consequences. The room went silent. Mrs. Dawson nodded. Once. Then again. She left. That night, Claire sent me a voice message. I listened. Not because I planned to answer. Because I needed to hear whether anything had changed. Her voice was raw. I hate you right now. A pause. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but I do. You could help. You keep choosing not to. Everyone keeps telling me I did this to myself. And maybe I did. But you could still help. Another pause. That's what I can't get over. You could. And you won't. The message ended. I listened twice. Then deleted it. Not because it meant nothing. Because it meant everything. Claire still believed the existence of my ability created an obligation. If I could save her, refusing to save her was cruelty. My life did not count in the equation. Only my capacity. That was the friendship I had been mourning. Not the one we actually had. The one I thought we had. Monday morning. I arrived at the Avery Foundation Interview Center at 8:15. My appointment was at 9. Mom drove me. Before I got out, she grabbed my hand. Nervous? Yes. Good. That's a terrible thing to say. Nerves mean you care. Your inspirational quotes need work. I'm not applying for a scholarship. I laughed, then hugged her. Inside, 12 finalists waited. Not just from Lakeview. Students from across the district. For the first time, the Avery scholarship felt bigger than Claire. And Vanessa, that mattered. In my first life, the whole application had become a battlefield between 3 girls. Now I looked around and remembered this was a scholarship, not revenge. I wanted it because I wanted university. Because Mom deserved not to worry about tuition. Because I had worked for it. That was enough. At 8:56, Mrs. Bell came out. Nora. I stood. The interview room held 5 people. Dr. Patel, 2 Avery Foundation trustees, a university representative, a community member. My essay lay on the table. Only mine. I sat. One trustee smiled. Let's start somewhere simple. Why this essay? I looked at the page. The things we repair. Then thought of Mom. The coat. The shop. Claire copying the words. Vanessa trying to turn them into strategy. And finally the words being mine again. Because I used to think repair meant making damage disappear. The trustee waited. I don't anymore. Why? Because my mother repairs clothing for a living. She never hides. Where something tore, she finds it, strengthens it, sometimes changes the shape around it, but she doesn't pretend it was never damaged. Dr. Patel leaned forward. And what changed that understanding for you? I almost laughed. What didn't? But I did not talk about Claire. Not directly. I talked about Dad dying. When I was 11, Mom taking over the shop, customers who brought in dresses from funerals, weddings, graduations, people preserving things, because the object carried a memory. How repair did not erase loss. It allowed something to remain useful without lying about what happened to it. For 22 minutes. Nobody mentioned plagiarism. Nobody mentioned Claire. Nobody mentioned Vanessa. They asked about my volunteer work, my engineering goals, why I wanted materials science, how growing up around fabric and construction influenced the way I thought about systems. I answered. At the end, the university representative asked one last question. What do you do when helping someone else conflicts with protecting something you've worked for? I went still. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe. They knew exactly what they were asking. I thought, before answering, I think you have to ask whether helping means supporting them or taking responsibility for them. The room stayed quiet. I continued. I used to think those were the same thing. They aren't. If someone is struggling, I'll help. If someone asks me to carry a consequence they created, that's different. No one smiled. No one needed to. I left the room knowing one thing. Whatever happened next, the application was mine again. 3 days later, results arrived. Mom was at the shop. I was in chemistry. My phone buzzed in my backpack. After class, email. Avery Foundation Scholarship decision. My hands shook. June stood beside me. Open it. No, Nora. I'm going to throw up. Then open it. Before you throw up. I opened it. Read the first line. Then stopped. June grabbed my shoulders. What? I looked at her. I got it. She screamed, so loudly a teacher stepped into the hallway. What happened? June shouted. She got Avery. 3 students turned. Then 6. Someone started clapping. I hated it. I loved it. I cried. Mom cried harder. She closed the alteration shop early for the first time in months. We bought terrible grocery store cake. No fancy restaurant. No huge celebration. Just Mom, me, June, and 3 plastic forks. Because we couldn't find the 4th. Mom read the scholarship letter 5 times. Full tuition, housing, books, stipend. She kept touching the paper. You're going? Yes. No loans. No, she started crying again. Mom, I'm allowed. You've used your daily limit. No such thing. What's it here? In my first life, the night I lost Avery, she had stood in this same kitchen and said, we'll figure it out. She meant it. She always figured things out. That had been part of my problem too. I learned from her. Keep fixing. Keep carrying. Keep finding a way. But Mom repaired clothes because people brought her their own torn things. She never tore her own coat apart to patch someone else's. That difference took me 2 lives to learn. Claire disappeared from school for 4 days. When she returned, people stared. Some ignored her. Some whispered. Vanessa came back too. She still had friends. Still had excellent grades. Still had college offers. Her life was not ruined. Neither was Claire's. That was important. Claire lost Avery. Lost another academic integrity nomination. But she still had a university acceptance. Still had parents who loved her. Still had options. Vanessa lost the school's endorsement for several leadership awards. But she was not expelled. Not arrested. Not destroyed. Real consequences were quieter. They simply lost things they had expected to keep. One afternoon, Vanessa stopped me outside the library. Nora! I turned. She looked tired. I owe you an apology. I waited. She laughed bitterly. That's all. What do you want? I don't know. I practiced this. That made me smile despite myself. Vanessa looked down. I was jealous. Of me. Of you. Claire. Everyone. She shrugged. I liked knowing where I stood. If I was first, I was okay. If someone else looked stronger, I found a reason. They didn't deserve it. I said nothing. She continued. You were hard to compete with because you didn't act like you were competing. That made me angrier. I told myself you were fake. Then Claire started complaining about you. And she shook her head. I saw an opportunity. There it was. No excuse. Just truth. I'm sorry. I looked at her. Okay. She laughed. Claire said you did that. Did what? Just say okay. What else should I say? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Vanessa nodded. Then left. Claire took longer. Graduation came 8 weeks later. By then, the scandal had become old news. That was one of the strangest parts of being 17. Things that felt like the center of the universe on Monday could become background by June. People cared about prom, college housing, summer jobs, breakups, graduation dresses. Life moved. Claire, and I barely spoke. Her locker was 6 doors from mine. Sometimes we reached them at the same time. We would nod. Nothing else. One afternoon, she stopped me. Nora! I looked over. She held a cardboard box. Can I give you something? What? Just. She opened the box. Inside were pieces of 11 years. A hoodie I left at her house. 2 books. A silver bracelet. A mug that said, "Best friends make bad ideas better." I almost laughed. Claire saw it. Yeah, that aged badly. A little. She handed me the box. I took it, then reached into my locker. Her spare house key was still on my keychain. I removed it, placed it in her hand. Claire stared at the key. Her eyes filled. I forgot you had this. I didn't. She closed her fingers around it. So that's it. Yes. Her voice cracked. You can. Just end 11 years like that. I looked at the box. No, you ended it. When you decided our friendship meant you could take my work. And I would protect you. Afterward, Claire started crying. Vanessa manipulated me. Yes. You know she did. Yes. Then why am I the one you can't forgive? I thought about that. Really thought. I don't know if I forgive Vanessa. I just don't miss her. Claire flinched. You miss me? Yes. That surprised her. Me too. I continued. That doesn't mean I want the friendship back. Claire cried harder. I hate that. I know. I wish you would scream at me. I know. Or tell me you hate me. I don't. That's worse. Probably. She wiped her face. Do you know what my therapist said? You have a therapist? My mother made me go. Good. Claire almost smiled. She said I treated being needed like proof that I mattered. I waited. And, because you always helped me, I started thinking your help belonged to me. That was closer than anything she had said. Before. Claire looked at the key in her hand. Every time you said no this year, I thought you were punishing me. I wasn't. I know now. I thought you knew something. My pulse shifted. What? She looked at me. Before, Avery. You changed. You stopped helping. You stopped sharing. You acted like you were waiting for me to do something. For 1 second, I thought she might see through everything. Then she shook her head. But maybe you were. Just tired. Yes. That was true enough. Claire looked at me. I'm sorry. No panic. No request. No, but Vanessa. Just sorry. I nodded. I know. She laughed through tears. You really love that sentence. It saves time. Then she surprised me. Congratulations on Avery. Thank you. You deserved it. In my first life, I would have needed those words. Now, they were simply nice. We stood there until the hallway emptied. Then Claire picked up her backpack. Bye. Nora. Bye. She walked away. I what's its hat go? I missed her, and let her go anyway. That was another thing I had misunderstood for years. Missing someone was not the same as needing them back. Graduation night. Mom took too many pictures. Stop moving. I'm standing still. You blinked. That's involuntary. Again. Mom. June appeared in my cap. She had stolen it. No pictures with criminals. Mom laughed. We posed anyway. Across the courtyard, Claire stood with her parents. Vanessa with hers. For a moment, Claire and I made eye contact. She lifted one hand. I did the same. Then the principal called us into line. Life continued. That summer, I worked at Mom's shop 3 days a week. Not because we needed tuition money anymore. Because I wanted spending money. And Mom refused to pay me for standing around talking. You're exploiting child labor. You're 18. Still your child. Not labor law. We argued. I loved every second. Avery money covered what I once thought we would never afford. My dorm deposit. Books. Laptop. Meal plan. Mom made a spreadsheet anyway. Just because money exists doesn't mean you waste it. I know. You bought a $40 water bottle. It keeps things cold. So does ice. University started in August. My roommate was a girl named Tessa from Oregon, who arrived with 6 plants. And no bed sheets. How do you bring plants? But forget sheets. She stared at the plants. I have priorities. We became friends slowly. That mattered. No instant best friend. No shared passwords. No merging lives. We ate together. Studied. Borrowed clothes. Argued over the thermostat. Normal. One night, Tessa sat on the floor with her laptop. Can you read my application essay? I froze. She noticed. What? Nothing. It's for a research fellowship. She turned the screen toward me. I just want feedback. I looked at the document, then at her. Send me the prompt. Why? I can help you think through it. I'd rather not read your full draft. Tessa shrugged. Okay. That was it. No offense. No accusation. No, don't you trust me? No friend share things. She simply respected the boundary. I almost cried over how ordinary it was. Later, when I told Mom, she laughed. You're emotional. Because someone said okay. Yes, that's concerning. You don't understand. I understand more than you think. She always did. Avery required scholarship recipients to volunteer 20 hours each semester. I chose the Campus Writing Center. That surprised everyone. Who knew the story? June texted, "You hate essays now." I replied that I hate stolen essays. Different. At the Writing Center, I helped freshmen with personal statements. I had one rule. I never wrote sentences for them. A student once complained, "Can't you just tell me what sounds good?" No, you're literally a writing tutor. I'll help you find what you want to say. What if what I want to say is bad? Then we make it better. He groaned. You're difficult. I've heard. Sometimes. A student would say, my friend's essay is way better. Can I see hers for structure? And something in me would tighten. Then I would say, no. Let's figure out what only you can write. That became my favorite part of the job. Not teaching grammar. Not fixing commas. Watching someone stop trying to sound like another person. There was relief and originality. You could not lose yourself if you stopped measuring your worth by someone else's voice. Maybe Claire was learning that too. I hope so. From a distance. Second semester. Vanessa emailed me. Not text. Email. Very Vanessa. Subject. Apology. Again, I almost deleted it. Then read. She was at Northwestern. Doing well. Joined debate. Quit student government. The email was short. She wrote that I used to think if someone else had something I wanted, I needed to prove. They didn't deserve it. I don't think that anymore. I'm sorry for what I did to you. And Claire, you didn't owe me forgiveness then. And you don't now. I just wanted to say it without asking for anything back. I read it twice, then replied, thank you. I hope college is good to you. That was all. Growth did not have to end in reunion. Sometimes it simply meant nobody repeated the same damage. Claire did not contact me that year. I respected that. Then sophomore summer, I saw her again. The alteration shop looked exactly the same. That was comforting. Same bell above the door. Same crooked rack of thread. Same ancient sewing machine Mom refused to replace. Because they don't make them like this anymore. I was home for summer. Avery internship started in 2 weeks. I was helping Mom reorganize old customer files. When the bell rang. Be right there. I walked out front. Claire stood by the door. For a second, neither of us moved. Her hair was shorter. No school uniform. No scholarship folders. No Vanessa. Just Claire. Hi. Hi. She smiled awkwardly. Is your mom here? Yes. Do you need her? No. She held up a coat. Navy blue. I stared. It wasn't mine. But it looked similar enough that the universe felt like it had a sense of humor. Claire noticed. Oh my God. What? The coat. She started laughing. I did too. For a few seconds. We laughed so hard Mom came out from the back. What happened? Claire held up the coat. Mom looked at it. Then at us. No, what? I am not entering whatever metaphor this is. That made us laugh harder. Mom took the coat. Broken zipper. Yes. Friday. Thank you. Then she looked between us. I'm going to the back now. Because I have emotional intelligence. She disappeared. Claire. And I stood in the shop. Finally. She said, can we walk? I nodded. We went outside. The summer air was warm. 4 3 blocks. We talked about nothing. College. dorms, food, her new roommate, my writing center job. Then Claire stopped near a small park. I didn't come here because of the coat, I figured. She sat on a bench. I joined her. Claire looked at her hands. I owe you something. You already apologized. I know. This is different. She took out her phone, opened a note. I wrote this because I knew I'd mess it up. I almost smiled. That sounds familiar. Shut up. Then she read. I spent a long time telling myself Vanessa made me steal your essay. She didn't. She made it easier for me to justify. But I did it because I wanted what you had, and because I believed if I got caught, you would rescue me. She stopped, looked at me. That part is the worst. I said nothing. Claire continued. I didn't think of your scholarship as something I could destroy. I thought of it as something you would somehow replace. Because you always fix things. You always did well. You always found another option. So in my head, taking from you felt less serious. My chest tightened. That was painfully honest. She looked back at the note. Therapy made me realize I did that for years. If I forgot something, Nora remembered. If I missed a deadline, Nora helped. If I panicked, Nora calmed me down. If I messed up, Nora explained. And I started thinking being loved meant being rescued. She lowered the phone. I'm sorry. This apology felt different. Not because it was longer, because it asked for nothing. No statement, no forgiveness, no friendship. I nodded. Thank you. Claire smiled sadly. I'm not going to ask if you forgive me. Good. I figured. We sat quietly. Then she said, Can I ask one thing? Okay. When you said no in that meeting, what did it feel like? I thought back. Claire's hand around my wrist. Mrs. Bell asking, Did you give her the essay? My entire first life balanced inside one word. No, I looked at Claire. Terrifying. She blinked. Really? Yes. You looked completely calm. I wasn't. What were you scared of? That everyone would think I was cruel. Claire looked down. They did for a while. I know. That I'd lose you. You did. I know. That we'd both lose the scholarship. Claire nodded. Then why did you do it? I looked toward the street. Cars passed. A dog barked somewhere. Normal summer noise. Because the first time someone asks you to lie for them, it feels like helping. The second time, it feels like loyalty. Eventually, you forget that you're the one paying for it. Claire was quiet. Then, you sound like your scholarship essay. I groaned. Don't. She laughed. Sorry. We walked back to the shop. At the door, Claire stopped. I don't expect us to be friends again. Okay. But I'm glad you're okay. I looked at her. I'm glad you are too. That was true. She left. I watched her cross the street. No ache this time. No urge to chase her. No fantasy about rebuilding everything exactly as it was. Some things were not meant to be repaired back into their old shape. Mom knew that. Sometimes a seam had been weakened too badly. Sometimes the only honest repair changed the garment permanently. That did not make it worthless. Just different. Mom came out holding Claire's coat. She laughed. Yes. How was it? Fine. Mom stared. Fine. Actually fine. She smiled. Good. Then shove the coat at me. Take out the zipper. What? You're working. I'm emotionally processing. You can emotionally process with a seam ripper. Cruel woman. I sat at the work table. The coat lay in front of me. Mom pointed. Start at the bottom. I know. You always rush. I am 20. And still rush. I carefully cut the first stitch. Then the next. One by one. Not tearing. Not forcing. Just removing what no longer worked. 3 years later, I graduated from Ridgewell University with an engineering degree. And no student debt. Mom cried through the entire ceremony. June flew in. Tessa brought one of the same plants from freshman year. It was somehow still alive. Afterward, we went to dinner. Mom made a toast. I would like everyone to know that Nora once thought buying a $40 water bottle was financially responsible. I covered my face. Please stop, June shouted. Tell them about high school. No, Mom laughed. Nobody mentioned Claire. Nobody mentioned Vanessa. That surprised me. For so long, I thought the people who hurt me would always be part of the story of my success. They weren't. Eventually, they became background. The scholarship mattered, the betrayal mattered, but neither defined every day that came. Afterward, my life got bigger. That was the real ending. Not their punishment. My expansion. A job I liked. An apartment with terrible plumbing. Mom calling every Sunday. Friends who asked instead of assumed. People who accepted no without turning it into proof I didn't love them. Years later, I returned to Lakeview for an alumni scholarship panel. Mrs. Bell still worked there. She hugged me. "You survived." "Barely. You were dramatic even then." "Me." She laughed. After the panel, a senior girl waited near the door. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "My best friend and I are both applying for the same scholarship." I smiled. "Okay. She wants to read my essay. And I don't want to show her." "Then don't." The girl blinked. "That's simple." "Yes." "What if she gets mad?" "Then she gets mad." She laughed nervously. "That feels selfish." "No, it feels like a boundary." She looked at me for a moment, then nodded. "Thanks." She started to leave, then turned. "Did you ever have something like that happen?" I thought about Claire's hand gripping my wrist. "One sentence. Just say you gave it to me." I smiled. "Something like that." The girl left. Mrs. Bell approached from behind. "You didn't tell her the story?" "No, why?" She asked for advice. "Not trauma." Mrs. Bell laughed. "Good answer." I walked toward the exit. On the wall near the front office hung photographs of past Avery recipients. My face was there. 17 years old. Black graduation gown. Terrible smile. Underneath, Nora Reed, Avery Foundation scholar, no mention of Claire. No Vanessa. No scandal. Just my name. That made me unexpectedly emotional. Because in my first life, I spent so much time trying to prove what other people had done to me that I forgot to imagine a future where their names didn't matter. This time, they didn't. I had not defeated Claire. I had not destroyed Vanessa. I had not plotted revenge. I had said one word. No. No. I did not give her my essay. No. I will not lie for her. No. I will not make her choice my responsibility. That was all. Claire did the rest. She copied. She submitted. She panicked. She changed stories. Vanessa tried to protect herself. Claire exposed Vanessa. Vanessa exposed Claire. Their own explanations pulled apart their lies faster than anything I could have planned. And, while they were doing that, I did something much less dramatic. I kept my work, took my interview, won my scholarship, went to college, built a life. In my first life, I thought being a good friend meant making sure the people I loved never hit the ground, even if I had to stand underneath them forever. In my second, I finally understood something simpler. You can help someone stand. You do not have to become the floor. That afternoon in the scholarship conference room, Claire squeezed my wrist and whispered, "Just tell them you gave it to me." Everyone waited. She was crying. I loved her. And I still said, no. It was the smallest word I had ever used. And the first one that gave my life back to me.